The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, G-Wade Podcast, and I'm kicking it alongside with my man Deacon. Dirty. And we got some very special guests in the building, on Zoom, but in the building. Y'all remember them, the 90s, the Balladeers, the Balladeers. Men at Large, Dave Tolliver, Jason Champion. What's up, family? I need some applause.
G-Wade?
Yeah.
Dirty.
Hey, that was good.
What's happening? That's how he was like Deacon. Dirty. What's up with it?
Yeah, man. That's his ringtone. You know what I'm saying? What's good, fellas?
You got it, man. Thanks for having us, man.
No, absolutely, man. It's a pleasure, man. We've had the opportunity to sit down once before and chop it up some time ago. And me and you, Jason, and then Dave, not long ago, but we've been kind of communicating a little bit more often. But you know, man,
we done hung out a couple times too.
We done hung out a couple of times.
Yeah, you and that lovely lady that be hanging out with us.
Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
Dirty.
Hey, look, I'm gonna let you tell it, bro. But you know, I'm excited about this interview because we get the opportunity to sit down and talk to both of you guys and chop it up and find out what's been happening in y'all worlds. Individually, separately, together, the whole 9 yards, man, and now coming back together and doing y'all thing, making the heat music once again, and we're excited about it, man. So I guess we can go back just a little bit because it all started in what, Cleveland, Ohio? Was it Cleveland?
That's right, Cleveland, Ohio.
And that's where y'all met. Was this a high school? Y'all was doo-wopping on the block?
Nah, man. Jason and myself were best friends. Man, it's just amazing. So many things have transpired over the last few years that just really make us look back, or especially me reflect on. We were kids. My mom and his mom were best friends for 30 years before my mom passed. And it's like everybody in that household now that we grew up around is gone. It's an amazing just how time flies and how things change and transpire. But anyway, you want the condensed version. We were always together every weekend. I don't remember how we started singing, but I was always hanging around the radio stations with my pops / uncle. And he was at the School of Arts and around musical people in the church. His family is a musical family, the Champions, Elder
right.
Leonard Champion. And, I guess we just kind of fell into, I think, they say raise your child up in the way. I guess you kind of point them in a direction if you want them to be. And I guess it just kind of just happened the way it happened. I knew Gerald actually through my mom, because my mom worked for the government, but she also worked at a record store called Fillmore East. During those times, the middle to late 80s, if you were a Black artist, you had no choice but to go and visit those mom and pop record stores that they weren't going to call the one stops and order your records. You had to go. At Luther Vandross, Anita Baker, they all had to go do that or they were not going to order your store. So Gerald would be there because they lived down the street. So when you go from one side of Cleveland and then at the time it was an affluent area, Shaker Heights, and a part of it still is. But, and that's where Eddie and them houses they grew up in was there. And so I met him there. But then, one night, Jason, we had been singing. One night we were at one of the DJs at the radio station that I was working at. I jumped some years, way up some years.
Yeah.
He had a concert. And I don't know if we went to the concert, but we went to the after party at his house and Gerald came. And we used to always roll around. He was the only child, so he had he had the Jordan 1s. My mama couldn't afford those. He had the little keyboard with the Casio keyboard.
Yeah.
Those beats like that. And we always rolled around with it, with the tape on the back of it because he lost the back.
Lost the batteries.
They were like, sing. Yeah. So we sang and he was like, that was 1986. And he said, yo, I'm going to hook y'all up. You want the rest of the story from there or you good?
No. Tell your story. Oh, that's all how you want to pick it up from there, Jason?
So
we ain't see him till 3 years later. And that was like 89.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because that was when Papa, I usually tell this part. So because I didn't give you a chance to ask the question. I just dive in.
Nah, you good, bro.
That's what she said. So so 3 years later, you know, that was when Pop, the Big Throwdown album, they was on tour with everybody and they was doing their thing. And so then they came back, and then that's when they did that next album. But that's when they started working. They had the Rude Boys going, us, and we came. So Gerald saw me coming out of the studio, and actually I used to, you know, dance with a group called Johnny O and the Sorcerer Crew. Johnny O is the CEO of Nerve DJs, if you're familiar with Nerve DJs. And they had a group that was really big regionally, and they were moving units out the truck, like all those artists back during the time. Another one of my dead homies, we were dancing for him. And Gerald came out and said, yo, I got this idea for 3 big dudes that can sing, dance, kill, you know, the whole nine. Long story short, he told us come up to the studio, which was probably a few days later. I called Jay because he was the only person I could have called that I knew that he really was like the anchor vocally. So I knew I had to call him, and we went to the studio. Steve from Troop was there, the Rude Boys, Mark, Sean, everybody was there. We sang. We had 2 other guys. Of course, they didn't make it. The next couple of days, we auditioned for his dad, and his dad was like, yeah, man. Yeah. You know, he gave us the approval. So I'm going to record this. I'm going to have to write this out and record it. So I have, you know, I'm going to just send it ahead of time. And, you know, after that, you know, that was like 89 going into 90 and 92, our first single, Use Me. 30 years ago, in 2 months, our first single, Use Me, came out. And I think it went to number 2, I believe it did on Billboard. But it was like number 1 on the radio charts.
Yeah.
5 or 2, and then it was number 1 on the radio charts.
Right. And so you said you gave Jason a call because of the auditions. So did y'all ever get the 3rd member, or was it just y'all 2?
That's funny. The 3rd member was a guy named Doc Walker. And he turned out to do some other things, but it just did. I think anybody that hangs with us sometimes, especially back then when we were younger, we're living on the outside of the inside joke. That's what would have been for him. He would have been living on the outside of an inside joke the whole time. Right. And he probably would have never fit in. And I think that was really the problem. He was very talented to me, but it just happened the way God meant for it to happen, man. Yeah, that's what happened. It was just because I don't think that another group member would be able to deal with either one of us. Period. Just being honest. Not back then. Not 2 other guys. We would have been fighting. Me and him, we was good. We had our fights and stuff like that, but
the chemistry was strong.
We was brothers. We was good. Yeah. So, so we was good with that. But he would have been anybody that comes in our matrix right now is. It's a lot easier for them now, but they still living on the outside of an inside joke. We got so much history, man. So much history, man.
Absolutely. You know, Jason, looking at R&B today, you know, thinking about R&B from the 90s and looking at R&B in the 2000s, you know, maybe since 2010, somewhere along there, when it got into the real singy, rappy kind of. You know, what's your take on, you know, R&B then versus R&B now?
R&B then, R&B now. Dave said something a couple of interviews ago when we first got back together.
I like that when he quoted me.
And I can't quote you because I don't remember what you said verbatim, but
I appreciate you liking my stuff.
It made me look at, rethink, and reposition my. So like, it's hard for me to answer questions, and that's why I really like to let Dave talk now, because I'm in a different place, man. And every day, I swear on everything I love. Every day seems like there's some new enlightenment, and I don't mean that to say like I'm just so smart, but I'm on a quest every day for God to deposit inside of me truth, honesty, pure integrity. So to answer your question,
and a higher metabolism.
I used to think that he don't know how not to have a joke. Every moment is a joke.
Hey, I'll tell you why I do that, and it'll be some real stuff for you after you tell your thing. Go ahead.
So he talked about a couple of interviews ago how the older generation, sometimes we're a little harder on these cats that are coming out now. And all the music that's out now is not bad. It's just very different from what used to be. And, you know, older people have a tendency of saying, man, that's garbage, man, back in my day. But when we were coming up as kids, we did the same thing to our parents and to, you know, it's not that the music is bad. It's just different.
It's just different. Yeah.
It's what these kids like now. As for me and my house, Jason Champion.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I respect it. I respect it. Hustle how you gotta hustle, create how you gotta create, grind how you gotta grind. These young folks like it. It's good to them. But for me, it's something that it says something that you can throw on Frankie Beverly now. He ain't recorded a record in I don't know how long.
30 years.
Or Al Green, Love and Happiness, or Luther, or it just says something that you can put these records on right now, or a Minute Large song, and it's still. There was a movie that I used to watch. It just said here. It just always plays well. It always plays well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. You know, some of these records 10, 20 years down the line. I can't imagine that they're going to play well. They play well now because it's momentary music. We're trying to make life. We're trying to make lifelong lasting music. Yeah. So
absolutely.
To me, that's
timeless.
The biggest difference. It's timeless back then. It's momentary right now.
Yeah. But you know, you say that.
My fault. We living in the area. We're living in a time of quantity over quality. That's why I don't get mad when I do my clubhouse rooms if it's not a lot of people in there. Would I like for it to be? But it's like my rooms end up being quality and people. I've had people come in there off a singing contest be crying. I needed this, just different stuff. You know what I mean? But the industry is set up like that. Hurry up, or get to it. Go 2 weeks, gone. Even with the movies, the whole entertainment sector is set up for those first 2 weeks. All right, what it do? All right, Google. If it do something the first 2 weeks, we're gonna keep with it. If not, with the movies, with the music, with books, with whatever it is. And you're right, it's gonna be hard pressed to find a classic. I told my daughter, like, I'll be honest with you, I like some of the stuff. I do. And you know, I do that because I have younger kids and I want to be relatable because I still have 16, 17, and 23. And I'm no capping and all effort you the long way and all and stuff like that. You know, say less. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the thing for you. You don't have to say much more. I understand. Bro, say less, bro. And not a bro. My kids, I said, don't ever call me that. I don't want to hear you call your sister that. I'm not your bro. Don't call me bro. Now that's the one thing. Ooh, man. When me and my son was at it, I said, man, if you ever call me bro again, I'm not your bro. I'm your father.
Right.
I'm not your bro. I'm your father. No, don't call me. Don't call your sister bro. Don't call your girlfriend bro.
Right.
That's the one thing that knocks me off my feet, man. Ooh, you said that. Ooh, I got a feeling in my body like I wanted to punch the wall like that time when Phoenix lost for Chicago.
Yeah, I feel you.
So you're gonna put some respect on my name now.
You got to, especially if you live in my house, you got to.
But you know, Jason, you said something about you respect it. You don't really care for it, you respect it. But I was watching this Instagram video, this news reporter. She does like traffic, something in Dallas, Houston, or something like that. And she was in her car. She was just, you could see the vibe all over her face, the body, to one of the songs of today. And when I was looking, I was like, that's her Marvin Gaye right there. That's her, Al Green. That's her, Jodeci. That's her Minute Large. You know what I mean? So I know how we can say it ain't for me, but for them, that's there. You know what I mean? So
but as you grow older and you find yourself in life altering moments, you're not gonna reach for that. Facts. You're not gonna reach for that. When you're going through it with your woman, or you going through it with your dude, you want to hear Eddie say, you want to hear Pop Levert say, me and my woman been going through some changes for the last 6 months. You don't want to hear, you know what I'm saying? Like me and my old dog, you don't want to hear that. You want to hear life moments that can take you and transcend you to where you are, that can, because music at the end of the day, it's medicine, man. I'm 100% convinced It is
I agree
medical.
100.
It breaks
Yeah.
down all the racial barriers and walls, man. When people come together into one, I saw that. I lived in the Virgin Islands for about a year, man. I just saw how music is such a. I didn't understand that until I lived there, man. Music, especially that Caribbean vibe, is a really spirit. It's a real spiritual movement, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
it is.
Cats be walking on
saw
air
how he
with
just
it.
stunned on us.
Said it
How
again.
he just stunned. He said, "I lived in the VI."
Oh, when he said live in the Virgin Islands, yeah.
It was work.
He said that
was
all
work
casual.
No, I wasn't flexing. Like they say, I wasn't flexing. But I did do a stint of radio there for approximately a year almost, and
that's
I did some formidable things. Yeah, yeah, man, it's and the crazy thing is it's a situation like people are complaining about this vaccination and the COVID and stuff. It's like either you with it or you not. You can't stop it. We don't have a big enough army to stop what's happening and what they're doing. And I think the COVID, the way they allow music to be uninspiring, to be very downgrading on your community and everybody around. It's all connected. It's because developed to control
an agenda. If there is an agenda, man, not to be too, conspiracy theorists, spooky.
Speak the truth, homie.
There is an agenda. There is an agenda. Whether people believe it or not, there is an agenda because mostly white folks control the music industry. It's most white folks sitting at the top of
the entertainment industry.
The entertainment industry. And they will watch us say things and put things to music about killing, about women being bitches and hoes, and they watching us basically destroy one another. There is an agenda. That's why they push that stuff to the forefront. And so we're trying to bring back, we're not trying, man. We are bringing back real soul music to help what ails. We are what cures your ails, your soul's heartaches. We are what cures them.
Yeah, well, y'all had a nice run in the 90s. Y'all was doing y'all thing, killing it, like you mentioned. Some of the other R&B groups, Troop, and what's other groups back in the 90s?
Oh man, it was a
H-Town,
Shai, yeah,
SWV, J,
SWV,
J,
you name it, man.
So for real,
Donnell Jones, Donnell Jones.
Forget about Donnell Jones. Yeah,
Black
Intro,
Brownstone.
Yeah.
There was a lot of groups from the 90s. A friend of mine put together a list. Yeah, Cut Close.
I forgot about Cut Close. Yeah.
They still out here.
They still out here. Yeah.
I talked to the girls from Moke and stuff. She might have had him once, but you had him out. I talked to them the other day.
Wow.
They out here, man. They out here. People are. It's just that the promoters and the talent buyers are just sticking with that. They're trying to do the 90s, and you don't hear much about in the 80s groups. Period. The 90s and the 70s. That's all you really hear about. And a trickle of the 80s. Your Tony Terry, your Glenn Jones. Sherelle, Alexander O'Neal. You don't really hear them anymore. But then you come to the 90s and it's the same guys, 112. It's two 112s. the two of them, yeah, man. The only ones that tour is Slim and Mike. The other two stay at home. Deron and Q, they at home. They don't go nowhere. And it's over something stupid, man. I said, I told them, I almost cussed. I told them, I said, man, if I had half the opportunities y'all had, I would put that bull crap aside and be out here on this road because now is the time, especially after that Bad Boy reunion. Man, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Man, are you kidding me? If Gerald was still alive today, we'd be rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of these groups that have their mentors that started them off, like Cut Close, those my girls too. They was in the dungeon. Keep, I guess everybody.
When they was a part of Keith Sweat. Yeah.
Man, they put their little things aside, and now but the catch is they can't perform those songs that he did with them unless they with him.
Yeah.
Niggas, man, excuse me, but niggas, man. Hey, man, let people eat. You got enough money,
man. Let people eat.
The groups is out there.
It's
folks out there. Everybody out there still trying to do it, but the talent buyers and the promoters, They pick the same ones, and I get it. You want the ones that did whatever they did, and you know they're gonna sell out as a lock. Man, man, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man.
You know, there was a period though that you guys went y'all separate ways.
I left that mother. Hello.
Y'all broke up, you know what I'm saying? First
we really
broke up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're one of the, I don't know everybody's story, but we're one of the probably only groups that we really didn't break up. We really didn't. It's funny, we never actually broke up. Everybody said we did, but we
on the outside
ultimately we ended up doing different things separately for a long time.
A long time.
Never broke up. God intervened.
He said, God hard.
God intervened, man, and ain't nobody gonna beat God. So
facts.
We had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, you know, Dave, when you and I spoke. Yeah, but real quick.
No. Go ahead. What you said. It ain't quick.
When you and I spoke, well, you know, was interviewing and everything. You mentioned Jason. You talked about how back then he was the one that had the strong voice. You know, because you was explaining. You was the first artist that I ever heard say because when you the first artist I ever heard just say that and say, you know, when you're nervous, you know, your vocals don't come out right and this and that. You was just kind of breaking it all down, but you was like, yo, Jason was the strong. He was the lead. He had the voice back then.
He was one of the strongest of the whole era. I tell you, we used to run with Biv and them all the time.
Right.
And that was the thing. Gerald and Biv was always arguing. Was it Jason or was it Wanye? Was it Jason or was it Wanye? And then Aaron Hall was like, all y'all bit off me. It's me. It's a video of Aaron Hall talking about that.
I've never taken anything from Aaron Hall. I've taken from a lot of artists, but I've never taken anything from Aaron Hall.
That's funny.
Not because he wasn't great. I just
right.
I mean, Aaron was like Charlie. That's he
had his own voice.
Aaron, I'd go listen to Charlie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Okay. We was in the John Key and James Moore. That's how I learned. When they turned me on to John P. Key and James Moore, it was a rap. James Moore.
John P. Key is dope, man.
Oh man!
And then for a minute, Jason, I think you was running with
Kurt Franklin.
Was it on my block?
I'm still signed to my block. Yep, I still got
on my block. Okay,
coming out on my block. I just talked to Warren recently, and I don't know, man. I don't know. That's my guy. We're friends, but as far as business goes, I don't know why it's taking so long. To me, there's no reason for it to take this long, but he's my guy. We just talked about this the other day. He was like, so I said, my heart and my commitment is with my guy. I mean, I said, we'll get to that. We had plenty of time to get to it. So this is what I'm doing now.
But you know, I'm a big believer in this, man. Doing both.
I said
that's why when we on the road, I really want you to do one or two of your gospel songs. I do my show. I redid Baby I'm Ready, and I do this record called Home. While we was waiting to see what we was gonna do, I dropped another single. You think when we out there, we got 30, 40 cities, I ain't gonna get my money off them streams? They want us to go 45 minutes up, man, because the records is fresh. And man, he got a Grammy nomination for them joints, for one of them joints. I got consideration twice, which means he was let's just put him on the list. And if people vote for him, then yeah. He actually got the nomination. Sing them songs, man. When they come see you, they want to hear it.
No.
See?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a learner to sing it.
Them songs don't belong on our set. Like Are You Ready and Always, it don't belong on our set. It don't belong.
Why?
It's not the setting for that. Now, if they come see us in concert,
but you go into, God just told me this, and I need to tell you this right now. I wasn't going to, but the Spirit was laying on my heart, and he said that, I should do this and leap off a tall building and jump down and be saved by the mercy of God. Are you ready? You do that every show.
Giving people a word, giving people a momentary word to remind them that God is still good and God is still God while you never know what somebody brings to a concert. You don't know what they bring. You don't know what they bring with them. What they had to leave at home or at the job. Me giving somebody a momentary word is my commitment to Christ. I couldn't believe that he allowed me to come back and do this with Dave. I never imagined Men at Large doing anything else. And when he gave me the green light and the vision, I knew distinctively what God wanted from us was to go out, sing songs that would bring nostalgia to people's minds and hearts, but also for me to inspire and to uplift. There are a lot of people that will come see us that will never set foot in a church again or have before, but won't do it again. But those people need to be given the gospel. They need to hear about Christ. They need to be reminded about Christ. And so giving somebody a momentary word is one thing. I feel like that's my commitment and my promise to him. Like, I'm not going to go back and do many large and forget who I am altogether. Like, Lord,
right.
I will stand up strong for you. Even if it means I'm in an R&B concert, I'm going to let people know I still rock with you. But going into like songs and all those things, it wouldn't be a bad thing. It just doesn't necessarily belong. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, Fantasia
fits.
seems to blend that in really well, and yeah, you know, I mean, it works. I guess it works for her though. You know what I mean?
We don't have to.
That's why I said if they come see us in concert, like at an arena, this was a private event. You know, a few people. You also got to fill the room too. You know what I'm saying? You got to fill the room.
Yeah.
That was a room full of niggas. I'm saying, yeah, that was different. And the spirit there wasn't, because of the head of the thing wasn't right, so it wouldn't have fit anyway. But
I think like when we were in Cincinnati, and I got a chance to kind of minister a little bit. To me, that was more effective than a song. Like I don't care to promote my song as much as I care to promote the gospel, because I'm a firm believer. It's
all the same thing, man.
You talked about getting streams and stuff. I don't knock your hustle. I really don't. Do what you do. But for me, I know without a shadow of a doubt, God is going to take care of me. And I don't have, like, what am I trying to say? The short version. Do what you feel called to do. You feel called, and in your heart, you feel like that's what you need to do. I don't knock that. But for me, I feel like I don't need to do that. And so I want to stay true to my conviction.
Okay.
Now I can respect that.
I respect it too. But there's the conviction side, there's the calling side, and there's the business side too. If you're not getting it out there, and we in front of larger crowds than we done been in front of in a while, I just think it would be effective. And
if God released me to go ahead and do that, but see, my main agenda is not to get the music out. Now, with what we're doing, my main agenda is not to get the music out. I want the music to be heard. I do. But my main agenda is for a hurting world full of hurting people who don't know the message of Christ to be set free in their hearts and in their minds. Because, man, if y'all know it or not, if you ain't free up in here, it's chaotic, it's toxic, and it hurts. And I've been there.
Facts.
I've been bound up in here. And that's my number one agenda. That's where I like I said, I don't knock you, Dave, at all, man. I'm with you. But if the Holy Spirit leads
those songs, them songs I sing ain't for no agenda other than to get people to see them and to sing them because I love them. But I just feel that it's all relevant if you giving them the word. Are you ready?
Because what's gonna happen is if they walk away from a mini large experience like that, what we just talked about, that Cincinnati one, they're gonna go home and they're gonna be so inspired by what we gave them. They're gonna go search you out and find all that stuff that you've done, and they're gonna get it anyway. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you.
But then too, at the same time, my G, I've been doing it on my own for a long time. And sometimes our people, if you don't say, here you go, broken into small pieces for the children and give it to them, they ain't going to find nothing. That's just, you know. So I feel you. I respect. I do. I've always respected that. I just want you to. I want to hear. I want to hear you sing it. You know, I want to hear you sing it.
I
I
feel you.
want you to be up there jolly. Are you ready?
Right.
I want to hear it, God dog
it. Yeah, Jason, I remember when we sat down however many years ago and interviewed, well, we actually was over the phone. What me and Deke talked about even years after that was how transparent you was. Because that was during a period where you wasn't singing. And one of the things that stood out to me when you talked about,
Don't do that,
like,
man.
yo,
don't do that, man, because you got me the last time. Don't do that.
Do it, man. Do it.
I remember distinctively you got me last time. Don't do that, man.
Do it, G-Wade.
You don't want me to say it, bro.
Man,
Do it.
I'm gonna put some respect on his name, man. Nah, but you know, but you was very transparent, man. And you talked about, when y'all were doing your thing and selling out concerts and crowds and so on and so forth. Then all of a sudden it just boom, like how it came to an end, how you described it like this. You was like, yo, it's like I went from 7,000 a night or a week to like $7 an hour. You described it like that.
We literally
like,
would make anywhere. Dave and I would make anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 for 3 days for 45 minutes of work, 15 minutes each night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We go home with all this money in our pocket. It was gone, and God gave me a job, and it wasn't $750, G. It was $550.
I remember that.
$550. Wow.
Can I tell them about the hustle though at the cookie shop?
Yeah.
Oh, there was a cookie shop?
I ain't gonna do that.
Talk about it.
You know
that was when I was 18. That's before Men at Large.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Man.
Yeah, man. That was
I respected the transparency. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people they skip over stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we've all had those moments.
I like to hear when I'm listening to somebody that I really enjoy and I get tuned in. Like I'm a big Will Smith fan, and I love that about Will. He tells it all. I think that's helpful because there's somebody somewhere who is going through exactly what I went through, and if nothing else, they need to hear that it's possible, man. Like sometimes people say you can make it. I made it, so you can make it. That sounds good, right? Just hold on, God's unchanging hand. He gonna come see about you. That sounds good, and it's true. But there's nothing like listening to somebody who has gone step for step where you at right now. Right. And they can tell you not only how to exist while in it, but they can tell you how to get out of it. Yeah. And how to maintain life after
and they want to tell you how to get out of it. A lot of cats hold on to so much information and so much, man. I think I can say that about both of us, man. I think that when cats when they ask or they looking for some direction or something, I think we both are willing to pour into somebody else's offering cup, man. That's just the way I was raised, man. My uncle dad, who I just lost, man, that's who he was. That's all he did was give everybody something, man. He poured in, and my grandmother the same way. That's all she did. I could see people taking from her, man. I should be like, why are you helping that end? Baby, that's what the Lord want me to do. So you shut your mouth. And she would pinch me with them hard ass nails. Yeah. And man, and go about her way, giving them money, pouring into them, giving them a Bible verse. I heard what's that daily word, that bread thing?
The daily bread.
Man. Man, she was religious with that every day. You see my man, man. But I think we both come from that. I don't mind, man. I just don't mind. And I know he doesn't either. But so that's who we are. I think it's our duty that if we can't change it, then we give them information. There've been some prominent guys out there, like I've talked to Pleasure P before, and some other cats, and just giving them that cats that knew who we were and had respect upon what we did. Oh yeah, and a lot, they're very open to hear, because it's not like they don't know the 90s music, because most of them were born at the top, the middle, or the end of it, or the top of the 2000s when the music is still playing. And their mama, their aunt, or somebody. I remember this one time a young girl stopped me somewhere and said, "Oh my God, man, we played this at my grand." She wasn't nothing but like 21, 22, and this was like about 3 or 4 years ago. So they got to hear it. So man, it's I think it's our duty to not only criticize and talk down and tell these artists and these young guys are doing what they're doing, that they're wrong, but just kind of show them, you know what I mean? Just give them some type of enlightenment as far as like when there's steps. Be like, hey, if you go down there and you go to the left, man, don't go that way because it's some killers that way. Don't go that way. But if you go straight, man, just a little bit, just don't make it the sharp left. Make the little almost left right and go that way, and it'll be a little easier for you if you do it that way, and it'll look better once you get down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think that's our duty because we've had people in our lives that have given us that. You know, from my aunt to Gerald to Eddie to his grandmother, how she used to put it to my man. His grandmother used to be harsh on it, but I bet you understood it. My grandmother, you know, my mother wasn't around long enough, but I'm sure she would have had a bunch of wisdom to give to us. But we've been blessed with people around us to give us some good stuff. And as we become older, I don't know if I have the word minister, but how we give it to each other now. We, you know, in our stages now, instead of an argumentative thing, we give it to in a man-to-man state. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that way it's more acceptable. You know, and you can either agree or you can respect the position that they come from, and that's what makes our thing work so well now. You know what I mean? We never really had no beef. You know what I mean? Yeah, we never really had no beef breaking up after 30 minutes later talking about us breaking up. Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I mean, you also sang. You know, I guess another gentleman joined the group for a moment. Gemini, R&P to the brother. How was that?
He didn't join for a moment. Gemini spent more time as men at large than I did.
Really?
Yeah, I was group, man.
Dave and I were men at large from my 11th grade year in high school. So 90 to 97. Gemini was men at large from 97 to 2000 and what, Dave? 18, 19, what?
Yeah, till right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic. He just passed away, 18. I think, last year.
He passed away in 19.
So when we got back together.
Was it 19?
Yeah.
We got back together in
19.
For like the end of 19. Yeah, he passed away he passed away January 17th of last year.
Yeah, I thought it was last year. Yeah.
And even then, when we got back together, I mean, he still was a member. You know, it was a different. We went back to an original formula, but once you a member, that's like saying Johnny Gill when he, you know, well, whoever leaves a group to go do something else.
Sammy Strain leaving the OJs or something like that to go back to the
you still a member.
Yeah,
you still a member.
Yeah.
Or Skip Martin leaving the Daz Band to go to Kool and the Gang to go back to Daz Band, saying you're a member.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So where's Men at Large at now? What's the next move? I know you're at the single that what is it? In My Feelings?
IMF, In My Feelings. Yeah.
IMF. Yeah. I see. I put the flavor on that joint right there.
So if you like the way that tastes, we have a whole album. The release date is what, May
25th, I believe.
May 2, right? It's our 30th anniversary. It's coming out the month that we started. Rest in peace to the GOAT, Gerald Levert. And it's packed with vitamins and minerals and all kinds of fortified things you're gonna need for your musical soul. You know, you talk real well about what we're doing with this album here, man. It's 10 joints. It may be 11, but he talks really well about what we did with this album.
Where you get 11 from?
Remember, he didn't ask you about putting what's so long back on there?
Oh, yeah. And I told him, remember we talked about that some time ago, though. But I think without going in there and retouching it and making it a part of the, 30th anniversary release, like giving it to the people as is, not a bad thing, but you kind of want to give it. Yeah, you want to make it special and give them, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Anyway,
is there gonna be any nostalgia on it, on the project? Some 90s feel?
Man, this
got
record,
one 90s feel.
Yeah, it's got, and Shai called me yesterday and said he believes that's the single. I said, wait, what? Because you just said I said, Dave ain't gonna like that. He said, I know. I said, but I can understand why you would think that.
My theory is, as far as singles, man, let's just move. We right now we estate planning, brother. And that's
no. We talking about when it's time to release the single.
Yeah,
with SRG.
Whatever's gonna be. My theory is whatever's gonna be best for the group. I'm not gonna stand in the way of.
No, I know
That's
you
where
won't,
we
but I
at.
know you ain't gonna like that single though. I know you ain't gonna like that.
So we did a 2000s version of our first single, Use Me. First we said Use Me in 1992, but this one is like, you can't use me no more. And I think what really, I don't know, it was a bad time for me when we were recording that. It was
Gemini
mentally. Gemini just passed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, man. Over the last 3 years, I've had a hell of a run of people that have passed away from me. And then they'd be like, man, I had 12 people. No, I'm talking about it's 10, 12 people that like was in my back pocket that close. And so that day, it was my fault. You know, my daughter was with me. She came and I was in a bad mood. Me and him got into it that day and I just didn't feel it. And what I should have did was just cancel the whole vibe of the joint. If it had went wrong, I should have just canceled it and been like, but he had flew to Atlanta. My wife was like, go ahead, baby. You might feel better when you get, I'm baby when I'm, go ahead. You might feel better when you get there. And I didn't. And I don't know, man, I'm man enough to admit that I was wrong that whole session.
But even with all of that, man,
it came out.
Nobody would know that. Nobody would know that.
Because
the song is fire to me.
It is. I'll be honest. It's cool. It's just like walking in the room being a light-skinned dude with a bump on your face. Everybody notices different than everything else. That's all. And it's a good record because the reaction that we've gotten from everybody, they rocking to it. I'm 51, he'll be 48 in a month.
No.
And 49 in a month. My bad. Yeah, because I'll be 52 in July. And it's our crowd, it's our demographic. And honestly, if we did it, the video need to be crazy. I mean, it just need to be really wild and upbeat, and it just needs to be. It could work as I hear it, because I'm a businessman, so I've been in it for a long time. I mean,
we have.
It would, what it would be like us doing Bruno Mars because he did us. You dig what I'm saying? They would say, oh man, they copying our Bruno Mars. No, he copied off our stuff. You dig what I'm saying? And they allowed him to do it. So why can't we? It's like one of those.
So on this particular record, G, 24 Karat Magic, the talk box, Mr. Talkbox that's doing the vocal talk box on there. He's on this particular song we're talking about. So it just makes sense as far as
I'll let you hear it, G. I'll send you the photo.
Okay. Appreciate it.
But to answer the question, man, I think that this record, when you become a man and you understand, back when we were making music before, we were just having fun and making music, traveling and trying to meet a bunch of women and spend a bunch of money on a bunch of BS.
Right.
At where we are now, we went in the studio to intentionally make music that is going to promote the word love.
Okay.
This album, man, is for grown-up people.
Right.
It's for people in the church, because people in the church, they make love too.
They make love too.
They act like they don't, but they do. Hopefully you're doing it with your husband or your wife, but
and they need some good loving R&B songs to do it too.
And this record, man, is not only are we putting the word love back in the music, but we are also, what we're trying to do, and I believe we were very successful. This is going to be a conversation piece, because the topics, the content that we're talking about is stuff that you deal with every day. Maybe it'll make it a little bit easier. Like, we got this one record called Say Something, which is my favorite, I think. And Say Something is just saying, like, yo, what did I do? Like, what? Just
tell me.
We're adults now. We ain't got to be all of that. Yeah, nigga.
Yeah.
Just say something. Tell me what I did, so I'll never do that again.
Something. Say something. Say something.
This record, and this album is filled with a lot of love, a lot of quantity, quality.
Quality.
A lot of quality, man. Quality. It's really just a good record, man. I promise it is.
My favorite on the album is called Love Benefits. Man, every time I hear that record, man, I get a tear in my eye. I don't even lie to you. It's my favorite song that we've that I've ever cut solo, that I've ever cut with the group, that I've ever done with anybody. It to me is just that. How did I get, man? Man, that record. Every time I hear it, man, I get that one tear roll down my eye, like Angela Bassett, and that's how Stella got her groove back at the end of the movie. It just rolled down every time, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dirty.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Dirty.
No, we can't hear you.
Move the mic up a little.
There we go.
Yeah.
We go. Speaking of new music, like who are some of the new artists you wouldn't mind working with now that's out now?
I think Dave and I are open to working with everybody, man, because unfortunately, and I'll say it again, unfortunately, I just had a conversation with Warren the other day, and he taught me something that I didn't know, man. He was saying how with my record, my gospel record, he said, we got to get you, I want to pair you with somebody who is, I probably shouldn't be telling this, but whatever. I got to pair you with somebody that's doing high stream numbers.
Gotcha.
Streaming is the only game in town now, unfortunately. That's the way we used to do business. They don't do it like that.
Nah, B.
If you making music and you're not streaming, you wasting them. Well, I won't say you wasting your time, but if you're trying to get, elevated to a high plateau and you ain't streaming, it ain't happening. So
it goes back to quantity again. Like you were saying earlier, it goes back to quantity.
Absolutely. Just like he said.
The quantity of streams and your following,
Yeah.
So we would love to work with a lot of different people, but I know me personally.
Any in particular?
For me, Rick Ross. Oh my God, man.
Oh.
I'm a Ross fan, man. Him and Joe Thomas, the R&B singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just make quality music, man. They make grown up quality.
That's what's up. Yeah. What about you, Dave?
Ricky Rose.
The biggest boss thus far.
The biggest boss thus far.
That'd be a dope collaboration.
That would be a dope collab, though.
You ain't got to tell me. We got a song right now on our record I wish you could get on.
Which one?
Real Close.
Ross? I be thinking about getting real close.
Faded real close.
With me.
Faded real close.
With me when I was in the gym. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas is my favorite of all time.
Oh, the same. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you who I like, and I like Lil Baby and Lil Durk. I like them cats, man.
Okay.
They ain't talking about nothing but the same old thing. But I've come to like their stuff. But of course, Ricky Ross. Man, Jay-Z. Man, that's the GOAT right there.
It's your boy.
LL.
Oh, okay.
I'm a hip hop. I'm
the one who came up with the phrase GOAT.
Man, so for me, it was LL, Jay-Z, Nas, Mobb Deep, rest in peace, Prodigy.
Prodigy.
I like people that spit. So you have to really listen to a Lil Baby or a Durk record to hear it. But like listening to Jay-Z or LL or Nas, you can hear it immediately. And I love to work with people that just have bars, recognizable bars immediately, because we're gonna come with the pen on the singing side. I mean, it'd just be a great mesh, Joe,
Right.
But yeah, a Rick Ross record, too bad Heavy D not still alive, but a Rick Ross record.
Big time.
A Rick Ross record, A Minute Large, would be nasty, super nasty, because he used to look like that, so he got his skin tucked.
That's what's up. So the tour, who's on tour for the 90s tour? Minute Large and which 90s groups?
You talking about who we like to see?
Yeah, like who you be like to tour with. If you're touring today and you pulling groups from the 90s, who would you pull to go on tour with?
Only
for me, one group would be for me,
who?
SWV.
Really?
Okay.
Well, we did a lot of shows back in the day, and if you remember, they were on a lot of them.
Yeah.
Those shows went really well. It wasn't, I don't know, we just had a good chemistry. We had a good thing with them. I would love to be on the road with them. Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up.
I can see SWV. I see Silk. Silk, SWV. Let's see who still has their original members.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's not many. Silk SW. I mean, I don't know, man. You know, that's it. Silk SWV.
Oh, you know what? You talked about
Shy. I mess with Shai and my boys, you know, just for the nostalgia, because Garfield is one of the coolest dudes on the planet ever. Him and Darnell, they cool. The other two original cats are gone. They use Men of Vision, the guys from Men of Vision as the other two.
Is the other two? Okay.
Yeah, they have a nice little run. I can't think of nobody else. I know Riff hit us up about going out together, but I can't think of nobody who's still out there.
Jagged Edge is still out there.
Jagged Edge. Next.
But the fit though would be dope with SWV, Silk, Men at Large.
Sisqo and them are still doing it. Sisqo and them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they like to they should change the shows up a little bit, where you know, not where everybody just come out and do their whole set, but it's more like a production instead of a concert. We started up where everybody come out and do one or two upbeat songs that you had, one that was big and one that might be just mediocre, and everybody run it down, and they come back and you do a little ballad set, and then it turns into a story instead of just a regular show, because a lot of times, you know, it gets monotonous because everybody can't perform for 45 minutes, 45 minutes consistently. You know what I mean? New Edition. I love to be on the road with them cats.
I think to go back to your other question, man, I would love to do something with Charlie Wilson and Anderson .Paak too. I would love to.
Okay. That's what's
up.
Brandy.
What about Brandy? Love her. Do y'all watch
I don't
Queens?
think Brandy get enough props, man. I don't think she get enough props, man. She is
Y'all
dope,
watch the show Queens that she's on right now?
Yeah.
It's fire. It's fire.
Shout outs to Eve and Notori
Horton.
And I forgot the other the Hispanic girl.
Puerto Rican girl.
She don't got to have her name.
She don't have to have her name. What's up, Mom?
Look at your boy.
What up, Mom?
Already.
Yeah. You see them horns going up. Oh.
Wow. So what's next, man? So with the project, you said sometime in May, is there a title for the project?
We don't have a title yet, but we were thinking 720? Because that was 713. So when we started recording, the very first day we went in the studio was 7/13/2020, and that happened to be his little brother who did most of the heavy lifting, in his words, with the album. As far as like the writing, the production, the arranging, just he's the orchestrator. That's also the late great Gerald Levert's birthday. So as we were in the studio, Jason was always quick to remind me, I think that God doesn't want us and we should. And when I was younger, I'd be like, all right, man, you stay here with God and I'm about to go out here and do you know, and
so now you're taking heed.
Older, and as I got older and been through things, I understand that now. You know, you can't beat God. Nobody beats the God. So we were in the studio and he said, man, you know, I feel that God has put us back together to eradicate and uplift and judicate and vindicate. No, but he was giving me one of those speeches, and you know, sometimes I don't want to hear it, but I'll never turn him, because man, I'm so rooted in my faith right now. I'm a crazy dude, but man, I just know if it wasn't for God, man.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't even about to go there because I'll be up here crying, dog. I'm hurting so bad right now. I ain't even lie to you. I'm hurting bad. I ain't even lie. That's why I joke all the time, because I'm hurting so bad from just all the losses that I've had in my life, my injuries, everything that have limited me. So I laugh to keep my spirits up and everybody else around me, because I don't want nobody down because of nothing. Let's even, you know, if I seen somebody get shot right now, I'd probably make a joke about it. Just being honest. That's extreme. But and he's like, God said, I think that God put us back together too. And then he said, the engineer said, hey guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but you know, usually the guys, they send the tracks over with a title on it, but there's no title on it. He just has it labeled 713. So 7/13/20, that's Gerald's birthday, Sean's birthday. That's the first day we started back again. 20, was that 28? It's been 2 years, almost 2 years, 28 years later, we back in the studio on Gerald's birthday. 7/13,
nice.
You know, or Dave and Jason, because that's everybody be like, who in the group now? Is it Dave and Jason or is it the other guy? And you know, he used to get offended by that, but I was like, man, don't take it personal. You doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you just weren't a part of when everybody saw us on TV and everywhere. I said, you're doing a great job.
Right.
Just focus on that, man. Sometimes he would go in his room and cry, man, because cats would do the flyers and have the old picture of me and him on there. I was like, man, go with it, man. Man. It bothered him all the way up until he passed. That bothered him. But yeah, man. So I am long-winded as hell, man. Gee,
you good, bro? This is good,
man.
bro.
Stop me, G.
No, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? it's good.
Cat's gonna be like, hey, man,
I want to say this to you though. I want to say this to you, Dave. When I first met you, you came through the studio. You came when we was in the old space. You haven't been to the new spot yet.
You moved? Okay.
Yeah. We expanded a little bit. You got to come through.
That's that PPP money.
from the GOD, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to say, man, from day one, you were solid from day one, man, and you've been cool from the time I met you to today. You know what I'm saying? You meet some people who doing it, getting it, celebrities, and they fronting on you, or they don't give you the real love. They just kind of, you all right, but still over there love. You know what I'm saying? But you never been that way. You just been a solid dude from day one, man. Letting me hang out with you at spots, man. I'm like, this dude is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Blame my grandmother for that. And hey, but cats have done me like that, man. I've been on plays. I've done like about 40 plays, man. I've been on plays with some named cats. And I don't know if I want to write about it in my book, but I'm probably not going to put their names out there, but they've done me like that. I called a guy the other day because my daughter was watching this movie on TV and he was in it. And he's a singer. And I was like, she's like, all the people I know, this, and I said, and she was like, oh, you know him? I was like, yeah. So I called him up. He was like, hey, what's up? Who's this? It's Dave Tolliver. Oh, hey, man, what's up? I said, what's good, man? I said, I just called to say what's up to you, man, because I called you last time and you called me back. But my daughter thinks everybody I know is corny, but she's crazy about you. I just wanted you to speak to her. Oh, okay, man. Let me call you right back, man. I'll call you back. 4 weeks later, go see the doctor.
Oh, wow.
Dirty. Let me tell you the initials.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's on you, bro.
I ain't gonna do that. I'm not.
Yeah,
I like stirring up. I like stirring up the coffee, but I ain't gonna drink it.
That's what's up. So, where can people find out more about Men at Large? With the tour dates, the album release, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we just signed a deal with WadeWorksStudios. No, go ahead, man. No, you can find us. I told you the Men at Large on Facebook is Men at Large. That's where all the information is. The Men at Large on Instagram and our individual pages as well. The easiest thing to do is go to the Men at Large the Men at Large on Instagram, or just Men at Large on Facebook. And we normally have all the stuff on there. We were going live because there's a lot of people on the Facebook page. We'll get back to it.
Speaking of live, you used to do, I remember you and Tony Terry used to do, at least I remember y'all two were there, but I don't know who was the one really running it over at
this white lady was running it.
290
pawns in the game. Yeah, Carol Osamoya. She's a long time music biz writer, and it was her thing. It was called Who's Got That Vibe, man. She did that thing. She had started doing it in 05. When I got her in 04. She started in 05. That was like the first place I sung in Atlanta. And then she took a 7-year hiatus because she had got sick, and then she moved to Vegas, and then she came back. And when she came back, she got Tony to host it, and then I was like, we did live artist development. You were there. If they sung or performed, it was me, Dominique Mitchell. Dominique is wild, and it was a fun time, man. It was a great atmosphere. It was a family event, and I was talking to a lady that was an investor in it, and I was like, we need to bring it back, and she was like, yeah, we do need to bring that back, man. So, along with my Singers Room thing on Clubhouse, I want to kind of integrate that with that at the same time, man. You know what I'm talking about? So going back.
That's what's up.
Hallelujah.
But fellas, man, I certainly appreciate y'all taking the time, man. I know y'all got things to do, places to be, and all that good stuff. But much love to everything you guys are doing. Keep me posted, keep us posted, keep the world posted on what's going on with Men at Large, because I'm excited about the R&B, the singing, man. The singers. You know what I'm saying? Coming back and doing what they do. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate
Letting
you
the
for
music
having
speak
us,
for
man.
itself, man. Thank you, man. No doubt.
Yes, sir. It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, kicking it alongside with my man Deacon.
Dirty.
Y'all know what it is. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down. And I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode of the G-Wade podcast. Now be sure to subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell to stay up on all the latest videos and content that we post. And we just appreciate everything.
Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at G-Wade Podcast. Tune in.